And now on to Who's Who. This segment is the pride and joy of our community as it focuses on who is the cream of the crop. The host of Who's Who is a famous gentleman from the state of Maryland. His name is Honorable Mr. Sonny Segal. He is the CIO of Montgomery County, Maryland. Mr. Segal's guest this morning is Ambassador Anand Neewoor. Let's see.
Welcome to the Who's Who show. This is your host, Sonny Segal. Today, my guest is His Excellency Mr. Anand Neewoor. Mr. Neewoor is a world leader and a career diplomat from Mauritius. He has held the post of resident ambassador to India and Pakistan. He served as ambassador to Russia. Later, he was named the ambassador to the US and the UN. Besides representing Mauritius in the UN General Assembly, Mr. Neewoor held the rare honor of being one of 15 members of the UN Security Council. Let me welcome Mr. Neewoor. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you very
to the
much.
Who's Who
Sonny.
program.
Thank you.
It's such an honor to have you on my show.
Well, it's an honor to be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It is a rare occasion that Mr. Neewoor is in country, and he happens to be with us here in Washington, D.C. at the present time. Mr. Neewoor, you have been a leader in cultivating and maintaining strong relations, not only in the Indian Ocean region of this world, but with other countries. Can you tell us how you have achieved this and in so many different ways?
Well, let me first say that we owe the kind of relations Mauritius has with outside world to the founder of Mauritius nation, Sir Sivasagar Ramgulam. He is the one who took us into the OAU, Organization of African Unity. He took us to United Nations, to the non-aligned movement, and several other organizations. So wherever we belong, we attach great importance to that, and we try to have an important role. I'm glad personally to have had the opportunity of playing a role myself in consolidating our relations with African countries, with Asia, with India in particular. We have what you call countries from where the people of Mauritius, which is a land of settlers, there were no original people there. Everybody is a settler, came from somewhere. Europeans first, Dutch, Portuguese, French, and then they brought people from Madagascar, from Mozambique, from African countries, several African countries, and later from India and China. So we are a very cosmopolitan mixed people in Mauritius, and we consider ourselves very lucky to be so. It's a mini United Nations that we are, and we try to have very strong relations with every country from where people have originated. Europe, France, for example, although we became independent from United Kingdom in 1968, We were for 100 years a French colony.
I see.
And India, because the majority of the people in Mauritius come from India, Indian languages and Indian philosophy, they are very strongly held in Mauritius. China, if you have good relations with India and China, then
That
today
is
it
very powerful.
matters a lot, and then France, of course. But the people, a large number of them come, they are descendants from African countries and Madagascar. They have equal place in our society, and it's a land of equal opportunity for everybody.
I see. And I am aware that you had a lot to do with leading the formation of the Indian Ocean Rim Association for Regional Cooperation. These are the 20 countries that are bordered on the Indian Ocean. So that in itself is a huge testimony to your leadership skills.
Now, Sonny, I must say I'm very privileged to have this opportunity because you have been a close family friend. We have known you and your family, our kids also know each other a lot. We have spoken earlier about some of these matters, Indian Ocean Rim, for example. The mid-90s, I suppose, was very crucial period for international trade. WTO was founded in the middle of 1990s. And World Trade Organization, it's the new GATT. United States is a strong member of that. Almost every country of the world is a member of WTO. And with WTO coming into effect, some of us felt that poorer countries like several African nations would be marginalized. And we thought, why not do something that would prevent that marginalization of African countries and others as well. So two initiatives I took myself. One was, I was those days ambassador here in Washington, D.C., and I started the process of AGOA, Africa Growth and Equal Opportunity Act. Later it was adopted by U.S. Congress. Our aim was to find market for African exports. And we did that. With the same objective, we went and established Indian Ocean Rim Association for coastal countries of the Indian Ocean. Now, that means Africa, Arab world, coastal Arab world, and coastal Asian countries, and coastal Australasian countries as well.
Australasian.
So that makes a large group of countries. There are lots of things we can do together, we thought, like something in line with APEC. APEC has United States, Canada, from the Pacific region, and Asian countries like Indonesia, Japan, Malaysia, and others. So they meet annually and discuss trade matters and economic matters, etc. We thought Africa, which used to be left out of all process, that we could deduct Africa together with Asia and Australasia and Arab world, that is coastal Arab world. And that might form a very strong grouping, probably the largest, because India is part of that, while India is not part of APEC. Although they are an invitee, they participate as an invitee, not as a full member. With Indian Ocean Rim, they are a full member. That the year was 1996. I presided over most of the meetings which took place in Mauritius. It was our initiative. Initially, we invited some countries, one from each region, to come and discuss the idea of forming Indian Ocean Rim Association. And later, we expanded by bringing in more nations. Today, we have a total of 20, as you say.
I see. Now, Mauritius is, in my mind, the Caribbean of the East, so to speak, sitting here in the U.S., and it's a wonderful place. I have, of course, had the occasion to visit Mauritius. It's a paradise, almost. Is the tourist trade a major industry in Mauritius?
Yes, over the years after our independence, we have concentrated, because as a small country, you have limitation on what you can do by way of industrialization. You can't produce big cars, you can't produce heavy machinery. So tourism is one thing one can do, and we have over the years turned out to be a very important tourism destination. Today we receive about 1.2 million tourists, mainly from Europe, South Africa, France and Britain are major source for our tourism. Of course, they say it's a paradise, as you say yourself. You have been there, you know. We wish we can have more people from United States. The tyranny of distance is always there, but since you have a lot of people of various nations originating from various nations in this country, we believe we can, when they go back home on holiday, they can pass by. They are always welcome.
Yes, you know, we enjoyed your hospitality and the hospitality of others in the country of Mauritius, and it was a wonderful experience, I must say. When in India, we noticed, my wife and I noticed that there were many newlywed couples who were headed to Mauritius for their, I assume, for their honeymoons.
Yeah.
So, and it was so exciting to see them there. Your Excellency, it has been an honor to have you on the show here today. I hope to have you back on the show when you're in country again. I want to wish you all the best in your efforts to make the world a better place to live.
Thank you very, very much indeed. It's a great honor to be your guest on this program, and we look forward to our next visit, and we'll be happy always to form part of your program as
Thank
much
you.
as we can.
Thank you, sir.
Very much. Bye-bye.
This is your host, Sonny Segal, signing off from the Who's Who show on the Capitol Forum. I look forward to seeing you next month at the same place and the same time.